I really like pens, and hopefully you didn't need no arrows or circles to notice that. In fact, I might be the only reviewer who runs the pen for its entire lifespan, to the very last drop of ink. My method is simple, yet consistent. Writing and crossing out squares on grid paper to keep the results measurable and repeatable. All done by hand, obviously. Which is actually important, as some of my previous reviews have already demonstrated. So it really is the ultimate real-life test, but with one little caveat. It takes an ungodly amount of time and effort. Shout out to Dungeon Crawler Carl and Audible for keeping me sane. If you want to laugh, definitely give it a shot. Jeff Hayes absolutely brings it to life.
Holy shit.
You'll have to reinstitute.
Come away! Come to mommy! Anyways, back to the pens. If you spend time in Reddit or Discord stationery circles, you definitely seen people raving about the Pentel EnerGel. But here's the thing, I'm from Ukraine, and even before everything that recently happened, finding one of these was absurdly difficult. And when I say difficult, I mean mission impossible. And I went the extra mile. Actually, according to Google Timeline, over 100 miles. 48 of those on foot. Every time an air raid siren goes off, public transport just stops. You get kicked off and you walk. All these road stops and traffic jams explain the 67 kilometers of walking. I checked everywhere. Stores, supermarket, underpasses, bazaars, industrial zones and warehouses. Even company offices. Basically any place that could possibly have stationery. Also couldn't really film, as people were getting understandably nervous if you're recording. There was even this wave of panic online about geodetic survey markers being used to guide strikes. And yeah, people actually got arrested over it.
I'll never get it. Never, never, never. No matter what I do, I'll never get Arnold's hat. Hey, Arnold's hat. I knew I'd get it. I knew it all the time.
After running around half of Kiev, visiting dozens upon dozens of stores, I found this very helpful pen enthusiast. And instead of brushing me off, she actually checked the back rooms. And that gets how I met your mom. No, but in all seriousness, there were no listings, no shelf presence, and no indication that it was ever sold in their store. But after 15 minutes, she returned with a dozen Pentel EnerGels, which were effectively treated like contraband, but only if you knew to ask. And after a quick glance, to make sure no one else was listening. To be fair, Ukraine was never a particularly wealthy country, and when for the price of one Pentel EnerGel, you can buy 50 to 100 regular ballpoint pens, yeah, I can see why the demand might be limited. But on the other hand, other premium pens, like the Pilot G2, which I already reviewed on my channel, is sold pretty much everywhere. The Pentel EnerGel lineup, honestly, is a bit of a rabbit hole. It's not just one pen, it's a whole family. The one I'm reviewing today is the BLN 15A with a 0.5mm needle tip. But EnerGel also offers conical, aka bullet tips, and size range goes from ultra fine 0.3 all the way up to the bold 1mm. Color options extend well beyond the standard black, blue, and red. You get the traditional navy blue and blue-black, but also more fun options like orange, violet, green, brown, pink, and so on. Many of these inks are also available as refills, which opens the doors to mixing and matching, or even modding them into your favorite pen bodies. Unfortunately, the BLN 15A that I have is not refillable, so if anyone at Pentel happens to be watching, I'd be very open to testing the refill lineup as well. Now, I'm no stranger to needle tip pens, and the EnerGel 05 really hits the sweet spot for me. It allows for compact, precise writing without sacrificing smoothness, and the tip is surprisingly sturdy, which is saying something, considering how many multi-liner Copics I've managed to ruin in the past. So if you like silky smooth writing and tight, precise lines, even as you scribble on the bus while getting shaken like a cocktail on roads that have been under repair since the Declaration of Independence, while funding their contractor's third house and a yacht, yeah, I can recommend this. But if you ever find yourself needing to write more than just a few words on a wall, or in any awkward less than ideal situation, and you need a pen you can actually rely on, then you might want to check out my Fisher Space Pen review. Or, better yet, after that, take a look at the Write in the Rain review, where I cover an even more dependable refill option. I just realized I've never actually introduced myself. Hi, name's Train, and I don't just preview products. There are far too many that just unbox and then read the manufacturer claims. I actually use every single one I review in real life and test them to the best of my ability and knowledge.
A write on, short of glass.
Lies! Lies and slander!
It does write on glass, and took me, 3 seconds to test? So yeah, instead of burning along, did it write fast? Let's actually put it to the test, shall we? And since paper does have a significant impact, I'll be trying all these notebooks from different brands and price points, starting with the cheapest tetratka I could find, and I threw some copy paper into the mix, because let's be honest, sooner or later you'll have to write on it. And for timing, our official timekeeper is not some fancy Omega like at the Olympics or tag from Formula 1. No, it's a visual timer. Simple yet practical. Whenever you're trying to stay productive or teach your kids what 5 minutes really is in a more tangible way, I've made quite a few reviews on these, if you're curious. And yeah, I always buy at least 2 of every pen I review. One to torture test for longevity and one for civilized day-to-day use. And to be fair, if something goes wrong during testing, I'll try a second or even a third one just to rule out a dud. Because defects do happen, and you can't really call a product bad unless it failed consistently. One-off issue, that's just bad luck. Repeated failures, on the other hand, that's a pattern, and a question about quality control. Speaking of patterns, Fisher! I'm still politely waiting on those replacements. No rush guys, really, take your time. I mean, it has been 3 years? Or are we already hitting 4? Hashtag lifetime guarantee. Hashtag lifetime warranty. Hashtag customer service. And if you're in the market for that kind of refill, buy Write in the Rain, the better space pen. And no, I'm not being petty. It really is. Well, actually it's made by Fisher, but the actual ink formula is from Write in the Rain. And surprisingly, you can actually write with it in the rain. I'm going off topic again. If you're interested, just check my review. Now, I'm not some pen snob trying to nitpick flaws under a microscope. But if your extreme EDC pen struggles with a little water, there's something really wrong. Okay, that wasn't intentional. Another example. Take the Pilot G2. I don't know why, but people love to roast it for skipping. But in my hands, rock solid. Zero complaints. I've tried both the French and the Japanese refills. Same smooth results every time. Sure, the Pentel EnerGel is smoother, but there's more to life than maximum glide. No, for real, what is it? Did those people just draw a short straw? Or did I accidentally win the pen lottery 6 times in a row in the past few years? Anyway, back to Pentel. This thing wrote beautifully, no matter what paper I threw at it. Be it the dirt cheap Tetratkas, regular printer paper, or the nicer stuff like Rhodia or Leuchtturm. Leuchtturm. Okay, I tried. Felt especially slick. But it comes with a trade-off. Longer drying times, which on all the other papers wasn't as much of an issue, as it dried very fast to lightning fast. I did 10, 8, 6, 4, 2 seconds and right after writing. I had to cut it down to the very scientific finger or writing smearing test. Or half of the video would be of you watching ink dry. And even so, I still have extra seconds to burn. I guess it's the best time to give you a quick reminder to like and comment, purely to give this video a fighting chance against the algorithm and the endless sea of low effort AI content. Oh, and please use my affiliate links or consider actually donating. Thank you very much. I can buy potatoes. If you're prone to sweating, I have bad news. The Pentel EnerGel is not waterproof. So if you regularly find yourself in a sticky or rather moist situation, Perspiration, spilled coffee, flash floods, dramatic tearful confessions. This might not be the pen for you. That being said, they do make a permanent version, but I hear it's a different beast altogether, both in the color and the feel. Can't verify that personally, as my pen Odyssey, as you have seen, yielded just this one model. But if you want an ink that will outlast your regrets, that's theoretically an option even with the Pentel EnerGel. And here are the results, once fully dried up. And I mean, it's readable at least. Fisher. And depending how it dried, whenever it formed droplets running down or just sat in place, the results changed. And yes, that is yellow that you're seeing. Alright, one more test. This time, a full submersion. The original plan was to leave it for a few hours, but the sudden leak forced me to cut it short. Still, since the dissolved ink never set on the paper itself, there's basically no mess at all. I will also be running a long-term-ish fading test, but that'll be a separate video and I have lots of pens. Subscribe to miss. As for the design of the pen body itself, well, not my cup of tea, looks a bit too futuristic for my liking, but I do have to praise its ergonomics, the comfort of the grip, and the extra durable clip on the cap. And now what you've been all waiting for? How long does it write for? Each page contains 320 squares, all drawn on 0.5 centimeter grid paper. Obviously, since it's all handmade, there is some variation, but it's pretty consistent. And unlike most factory-style tests, I apply pressure from all the directions and lift the pen between the strokes. That way, any change in ink flow or startup performance becomes immediately noticeable. And I must say, Pentel EnerGel is a king of consistency. No skips whatsoever. Smooth all the way. Reliable performance until the very last few lines when it was on its deathbed. But hey, there's an ink window, so depletion doesn't come as a surprise. In total, I suffered making 14,355 squares. That's over 633 meters of writing. For a gel pen, that's an exceptional result and well beyond the typical expectations. And from what I know, the Pentel EnerGel is readily available in the US, which reminds me of another review that I made of the Pilot G2. They claim to be the longest writing gel pen in America for, I don't know, decades now. And it lasted me, as you can see, 414 meters. Wait a minute. I can write over 50% more with the Pentel. You know what? Pentel. Maybe you can use my independent testing in your marketing. Write 50% longer than the longest writing gel pen in America. Unless I forgot something, that's about it. Don't forget to like, comment, maybe even subscribe. Check out my other videos, and see you in the next one.